Hi, I'm Kate.
My name is Erica.
Welcome back to Nolan's Nonsense, the place where I show my friends things like K-pop, and someday Erica will show me Mac Miller. Today is part 2 of our Spring Day reaction. Go check out part 1. We talk about the ones who walk away from Omelas, Spring Day music video and lyrics, and we discuss this Seawall Ferry tragedy. Today we're gonna watch the explained video for Spring Day. I actually couldn't find the original video that I watched for Spring Day Explained. I found a decent substitute. And we're also gonna watch Spring Day live after we watch the explained video. Before I go any further into today's video, please go watch the originals and give them the views that they deserve. This is in Esquire's article, BTS discussed the meaning behind their emotional 2017 ballad Spring Day. Fans have long speculated that the song alludes to the tragedy 2014 Seawall Ferry disaster. I read that wrong. You get it. I think the one thing to remember here is that when asked if it's about a specific event, Jin says it is about a sad event, as you said, but it's also about longing. It really represents him personally because he likes to look to the past and be lost in it.
Now that does make me tear up, and I think it matters that Jin said it, and if you watched any of the videos with me in it, Jin's my favorite. And oh, that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Government tried to silence entertainers who spoke out against it. Banned the disaster's commemorative yellow ribbons.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. President Park was widely criticized for her government's failure to prevent it and was impeached on charges of corruption.
I have to say something, and I don't know if this will fit. Why is it easier for Americans to look at other countries' corruption and other countries' like violations of, you know, rights to speech and assembly, and then when it comes time to look at American government, like people can't do it. Like I don't know why we don't.
Or instantly make excuses.
Yes, yeah. Because that's how I was raised, right, was hearing about other countries that didn't have the liberties that we have.
That's all we're taught in school is about other countries who are suppressed, and America, freedom.
Yes. And I think like our generation of Americans now are like, no, actually we're also like severely like repressed sometimes. But we don't feel as brave to have those conversations.
So the ones who walk away or stay silent.
Yeah.
So just relating it back to the ones who walk away from Omelas, the ones who either walk away silently or stay silently in their little utopia, their little happy bubble, and they can ignore the disparities around them.
That's a great point.
But our generation and the generation younger than us is so intelligent, savvy, self-informed. They really strive to educate themselves on social injustices and do what they can to spread word of it and explain logically why it's not right. And here are the baby steps we can take right now, today, to help the situation.
Yeah.
And those are the people who speak up that are not mentioned in the ones who walk away from Omelas. If you want to see our discussion on the ones who walk away from Omelas, go to my last video with the Spring Day reaction, the Spring Day music video reaction. I had to split this into 2 parts. Too much. Okay, so we're gonna dive straight into the explained. Taehyung is V's real name. Feel free to pause it to read it if it goes too fast.
That would be for me like a piece of evidence to support this being for the Seawall Ferry disaster, because the rest of the music video is all winter, and then Jimin's like at the beach. So I had wondered about that when we first watched the music video.
Love the slow pan of the book cover. I'm also going to relate that scene to the ones who walk away from Omelas. There is absolute jubilation on one side of the room, and RM was the individual suffering. He was getting thrown. Everybody else was happy, but if you saw his face, he's like, and he walks in and he's immediately like, what? So it was like he was the representation of like the suffering or getting undeserved actions towards him, and the others were in a moment of like ecstasy, and that's kind of how Omelas is supposed to be, is like everybody's always happy, but there's one creature that's suffering. You Never Walk Alone was the name of the album that this song was on. Before we get to the laundry room scene, there's a scene in Spring Day where Jungkook tries to light a match and can't light the match, and he's alone in the room. And then all of a sudden in another scene he's able to light the match, it pans out, and all of the guys are with him. So it's like when they're together he has the fuel to keep going, but when he's alone he feels like he doesn't have the spark. That also can be related to Snowpiercer, the little girl with the matches who has to get the matches.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of ties here.
I'm so glad you brought that up about Snowpiercer, because I feel like that message is really like the smallest among us can do great things, right? And even like the littlest, who we often count out, like have incredible power.
And it could just be one match.
This is making so much more sense with the explain. So thank you to the people who make them, or else who knows where I would be.
Yeah. Or me, honestly. Kitty, it's okay.
Oh my goodness, who knew you liked the boys so much?
Derek, I released the kitten.
I love you,
Caitlin. We're almost done. Did you do anything weird from the camera?
Always. Good. A little present for later.
Just before they explain this, one of the things that this explained video leaves out is that the like rotations, and another reason why the laundromat is important is to show like the cyclical nature of the train in Snowpiercer, and that there's like, if there's no societal interruption, if there's no interruption for corruption to stutter or to end or to change, it will keep going.
But I wonder if like a more optimistic view
give it to me.
of cycles, and tying in cycles with seasons, since we're talking about spring day and we're talking about like this long winter, is there's a season for everything, right? And kind of being interested in history, there are seasons where people just quietly go about their lives. There's all these booms in technology, life feels so good, and then terrible things happen, and it causes us to have to reset and find that new normal, to like bring COVID into it. And those are opportunities for disruption, right? And we can't be too scared of leaving what normal was. We have to be ready to understand like this is a new season. We can do new things. We can change the government. We can, you know, advocate for a more just world.
There's always going to be another election.
Cycles.
Yeah.
And I love this about BTS, and the other videos that Caitlin has shown me about like mental health, how they speak out for young people. As a school social worker who works with young people on their mental health, like that makes me like love and respect BTS so much, because I think it's so true. Like adults, out of like what I think they perceive as necessity, they distance themselves from their emotional self, and challenges and feeling grief and loss. Like it's easier to just harden up, and then they give that really bad advice to children. So it's nice that there are advocates out there who say like it's okay to not push back your feelings on this, and definitely never telling people that the time for grief is over, right? You can never force that for people.
This is the art exhibit I told you about. A ribbon campaign that got banned. I feel like there is that moment of awakening either at the individual level, with which I've experienced over the last like 3 to 4 years, like really, instead of being super influenced by what my family has always taught me to be right, there's this moment of awakening where you develop your own sense of morality and justice and what that should look like in society. I think it's really cool that BTS is able to maybe show in their videos or show in their personal like exploration with like lyrics and this type of thing, their moment of awakening. Part of that is also like bravery. Like I've stemmed away from my parents' beliefs, which is really scary. I'm just gonna believe something different than what I've always been taught.
And then to connect back with what I was saying before about how as adults grow older, I think they also forget what it's like to make those decisions and to be in that young adult space. Like even myself, like, you know, I did what you did too, but at the point I'm at now, I feel like, of course, like, these are my beliefs. Like, yeah, they're not the same as my parents' beliefs. Like, that's okay. So much so that I forget how like, I have emotionally detached from how painful that was those first couple of years. Like, going to college, learning about the world outside of my hometown, like, learning about political views different than mine.
And forget about trying to talk with your parents about it, because it's a terrifying. Like, as much as like I want to influence my parents the way that they influenced me growing up, it's like a battle that I am set up to lose every time I try.
Okay, then. I know we're going off on like a tangent, but then to tie it back into the ones who walk away from Omelas.
Yeah, be the person that speaks out.
Well, girl, I'm just walking away. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you're
it's
choosing
hard.
to walk
Like,
away,
I don't want to fight with my parents.
You're right. I chose to walk away silently and we don't discuss it. It's like a topic that we don't discuss.
And then so to bring it into cycles again and to talk about generations, like we're millennials, right? Like when we were younger and we were in college, we tried to maybe bring about change through talking to our families, and now it's Gen Z's turn to kind of like pick up the torch and to do that next cycle of pushing forward.
And honestly, they're so much better at it.
Yeah, you guys are really good. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. See, he couldn't light it, it went out. Oh, I forgot about this part.
so good.
So good.
I feel like I don't know how to say, like, I guess I'll just skip my commentary and just say, like, are these men mastering the art of subtlety? Or am I just not really good at reading the music videos anymore? Because I enjoyed the first watch, right? I feel like I could pick up the emotional themes.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I always love context. So after talking with you about what happened and then having somebody provide me an explained video, I just like love it that much more. But they didn't do it in a ham-fisted way. Do you know what I mean? I really like subtlety.
Love analyzing,
Yeah,
right?
I do.
You like breaking things apart, which is why I ended up getting into BTS so much, because I was just reading comments. Like, I watched a couple music videos. They're so good, right? Like, they're so good and you want to know more. And then I'm reading comments of other videos and they're like, oh, this connects to this and this other music video. And like, there's all these connections for the Bangtan Universe, which blew my mind. Like, there's a company that is very, very good and supports the members' visions.
Yes, truly. I think there is a big team of artists creating like aesthetically pleasing, like pushing trends and all of that. And then also, like, the men are not creating art in a vacuum. They're not, you know, they're creating things based on the times and what they're experiencing, like referencing this new album all about the pandemic. And I think that makes the art more powerful.
Last one is a live video performance of Spring.
Did you say Jimin was a dancer?
Yeah, he was a modern contemporary dancer. He's not contemporary, I can't remember what it's called. It's like modern dance.
Okay.
And he was like top of his class, and it was a high school that was for performing arts. He was also class president for 9 years. I know.
I'm a little late with this commentary, but watching it live, this section now, does make me think about like young people and grieving, moving on from disaster. I don't think that any of us are really good at doing it. The thing, how do you integrate negative experiences into yourself and who you are, but still be able to move forward and grow as a person? I think especially young people, I have a lot of conversations on like, well, if I move on or if I do something happy, am I not honoring this terrible thing? I think we could all do like a little bit better about learning how to, like I said, integrate these negative experiences into who you are, but know how to move forward in a hopeful way.
Yeah, we're not well equipped.
No, I don't. This is like my whole job. This is what I went to school for, and it's not easy.
If you remember in the music video, Jimin's the one who leaves the train first, and Jin represents the person who has passed away and is watching all of them grow up. So Jimin at the end there is like kneeling to Jin, and Jin is above Jimin, and Jin comes and like hugs him as if to say, it's okay, like you don't need to feel guilty or sad anymore, like thank you for honoring me. Which like makes me want to cry.
I know, and what a powerful representation for BTS to provide to their viewers, and in a symbolic way be able to help people do that for their own grieving process. Because we don't really get that, right? Like, we don't actually get to have that like real physical closure. So, you know, like therapeutic, or arts can be therapeutic. And I feel like Caitlin's like whole mission in showing me BTS, right, is to say like it's more than just a band. Like, they're more than just like pop stars. Like, they're doing something really powerful and sharing parts of themselves that we don't normally get to have from from our entertainment today. It's okay, Caitlin. She outdid herself this time.
Oh my gosh, once I start crying, like, I don't stop, so I need to, like, get my shit together. So that was your first time seeing them perform live with that much movement.
Yes.
What did you think?
I liked it. I feel like I was just super drawn to Jimin, one, because I think he's like the main like performer in this song, but also like I just feel like he's so like his movements are just so emotive. You know, like his clothes are kind of flinging off of him, and he's like using them as part of his movement, where I feel like the other boys are definitely a little more just like routine based. I feel like Jimin can kind of wiggle around in that routine a little bit more.
He's gotten some sort of Korean cultural award for his fan dance from like the historical.
I would love to do that someday.
We want to see that?
We could have like a Jimin day, or maybe like a more like BTS doing more traditional like Korean culture. I knew her wheels are already turning. I know.
Have so many ideas, but a lot of them are tied into larger performances, like award show performances. At one award show last year, they had 39 minutes at the end of the award show. It was a BTS concert.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just hard to pick and choose. Like, that would just be like such a long reaction, but like I'm down for it. I just don't know how I would edit it. Like, I'm just thinking, like, be kind to yourself, Caitlin. Don't give yourself a horrible thing to edit, which, like, this video is going to be hard to edit. Hi, kitty. That was our reaction to Spring Day Explained and Spring Day Live. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it.
I loved it. Thanks to everybody who takes the time to do these analyses and share them, and hopefully feel good knowing that people like me are out here seeing them for the first time, and
it's truly helpful.
It is. It is.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.